Hi, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Caffeine and Lesson Plans. Today I wanted to show you a couple of the workbooks that we've been using for homework, and I use the word homework rather loosely because this is really just kind of an extra review for my kids, and we don't get to them every day. We try to, but you know, things come up, and so these aren't necessarily mandatory for our learning, but I liked the idea of having them do some fun little worksheets each day just to reinforce what we had learned and for review. We do our homeschool from about 9 to 11 each day, and we do our homework after lunch about the time that my youngest takes a nap. And like I said, it's just a couple pages each. They enjoy doing them. They actually argue about who gets to go first. And so I have really enjoyed using these books. They're set up really well. They're easy to use. They're colorful, and you know, it's good practice. My daughter is pre-K age. My son is kindergarten. We're actually doing the kindergarten curriculum right now with my daughter, but I chose to use the pre-K workbook just to make sure that she wasn't missing anything, since we kind of went straight to kindergarten with her instead of really doing a pre-K. We did a little bit of pre-K with her, not a whole lot, and that's because, well, number one, this is my first year homeschooling, and I wasn't exactly sure how to do two curriculums at once with the kids, and also she's a little advanced for her age, so I wanted to see if she could keep up with her brother. And so at the end of the year, I'll do an assessment on both of them and see where she's at, and if she is still if she's behind in certain areas, we'll just do kindergarten over again with her, and that won't be a big deal, and we'll move on to first grade with my son. And so, but these are the workbooks. These are from BrainQuest, obviously, and these are all written to align with Common Core standards. They are written by teachers, or written with teachers helping put this together. There's a consulting editor who is a teacher, and so these aren't just, you know, it's not just somebody piling a bunch of worksheets together. These are well thought out as far as a year-long workbook full of curriculum-based exercises and activities. So let's start with the pre-K. At the beginning of each book, obviously there's a table of contents. The pre-K focuses on ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, phonics, vocabulary, shapes and colors, sorting and matching. There's a section called My World, science, fun and games, and extras. So we'll just go through and look at each section. It's pretty basic for the ABCs part. You've got your capital letter, your lowercase letter. You do an activity with those, and it's the same for every letter. Every once in a while, there is a page for you to match up. So in this one, you've gone through all the way through G, so you're going to go through and match up your capital letter with your lowercase letter. And then once you get all the way to Z with recognition of the letters, then you start actually doing some pre-writing of the capital and lowercase letter, and that goes again all the way through letter Z. And then you move on to the 1, 2, 3s. And with the 1, 2, 3s, you practice writing the number, and then you do an activity with counting. Same all the way through number 10, and then after you get through 10, then there are additional number activities. The phonics, you have one page for each letter, and it's just recognizing and circling the pictures that begin with that letter. For vocab, you can see my daughter's lovely coloring. These are just, I guess, these words they're probably going to know at pre-K. You know, big, small. The next one is open and closed. So fairly obvious words, but just I think it's a good way to assess where they are with vocabulary. And so it doesn't go through a ton of words, but a lot of good sight words. This colors, and so when you get into colors, on one side of the page you have a coloring, a little coloring page that they do, and then over here they're supposed to draw something that is that color that they can think of. So here it was butterflies and basketballs and pumpkins are orange. Can you think of something else that is orange and draw it here? And then after you go through that, then you have a few more activities for coloring, and then we get into shapes. Circle, or you trace the circle, draw your own circle, and then identify all the circles on this picture. And this is kind of the same thing with all of the shapes. And then and not only do you have your shapes after the color pages, but then you are putting them together and you're coloring and recognizing shapes together. And like I said, you can see these are a lot of fun and very basic, and the kids like them. So sorting and matching, pretty self-explanatory, finding shapes that are the same, grouping things, those kind of activities. The My World section is kind of about their environment. This is the dining room, this kitchen, this is what's in a house, to school, what's at school, the library, those kind of things. Science, I really like this one. There's a lot about animals and plants and then their habitats, so that's kind of neat. And then it goes into clothes and my body and healthy foods. And then in the fun and games, you've got mazes and hidden picture exercises. And then after that, you have these little extras, and these are Brain Quest cards. You're supposed to just cut them out, and they have a question on one side and then an answer on the other. So kind of like little flashcards if you want. You don't have to use them. And then at the very end, there's the Brainiac Award that they've completed their workbook, so that's kind of nice. And we've got alphabet stickers, kind of good job stickers, and then there is an alphabet chart on the back of this one. So like I said, they really love these books. And the kindergarten book is very similar. It's just that the things in there are a little more in depth. So ABCs, phonics, spelling and vocabulary, 1, 2, 3s, shapes and colors, patterns, matching and sorting, time and money, community, science, fun and games, and extras. So on the kindergarten alphabet side, you've got a maze, and then you have an activity, whether it's coloring or circling something, and then you go into pre-writing, and so you have your capital letter A that you're tracing and then writing yourself, and then a lowercase a that you're tracing and writing yourself, and then that's just for every letter. You've got a couple games, and then you go into the pre-writing for that letter. Let's see, after the vocab, or not the vocab, excuse me, after the ABCs, we can get through this. We have phonics, and this is just circling pictures that begin with the letter. And then spelling and vocabulary, you trace the word, and then you write the word, and then you write the word again to complete the sentence. And you start out obviously with very basic words. We haven't started this right now with our kindergarten curriculum. We're in the beginning phonics stage, so I have saved this portion of the workbook until later in the year. 1, 2, 3s, you trace the number, you write the number, and then you do an activity. That's the same for all the numbers. And then we've got shapes and colors, And this is pretty basic too, where you're just coloring. They tell you what to color. Like this one says you're going to color the basketball orange, the tennis ball yellow, and so you do that, and they practice tracing the shape and drawing their own shape. And then we get into patterns, and so this is drawing what would come next in the pattern, or coloring what would come next in the pattern. Matching and sorting. So here you're drawing a line to match the desert animals that are the same. This one was drawing a line to match the baby to the mom. Those kind of things. And then we get into sorting. So clothes you would wear in winter, clothes you would wear in summer. And then we have time and money. And this is another one we haven't gotten into yet, just because we're early here in the kindergarten year, but I'm glad that this is in here, because I remember trying to learn time, and that's not the easiest concept for them to understand. So it kind of goes over there basically about a clock and what the hands on the clock mean, and then it also has you tracing the numbers and matching things with time and writing the time that you see. And then in the money part, it goes over what a penny is worth, and then how many pennies, and then you add in the nickel and a dime. So that's some good review. And then with community, this is kind of about their environment as well. Some people live in a city, a town, a country, and recognizing people in the community and certain jobs, stores, and that kind of thing. Let's see. And then science, once again, just kind of an overall concept of basic science concepts, I guess. So this would be your 5 senses. Then here's about the planet and weather, seasons. This was kind of neat, growing things, numbering the pictures from what's first to what's last in the growth process. And then fun and games, and then you've got more mazes, dot to dots, finishing the pictures, and then we get to the Brain Quest extras. And in the back of this book, they also have flashcards with questions on the front and the answers on the back. And then at the end of that, there's a Brainiac Award in this book. And you also have the alphabet stickers, the good job stickers, and then in this one, instead of an alphabet chart, you actually have, get this out, you can make your own clock. Oops, so you see that? TikTok, make your own clock. So I thought that was kind of neat. So you can get, it tells you what you need at the bottom to use. They've got the minute hands where you can cut out, and then you poke a hole in here, and then you can work with them on the time. And so these are our workbooks that we're using. And like I said, I really like these. I actually have a couple different workbooks. There's a Scholastic one, but after looking through them, I really enjoy these out of all of the ones that I have. And the kids enjoy them, and it's working really well. So stick around for more videos. Thanks.